Welcome back to Two Sinners on a Sunday.
Hello, Hasadiga Ibuai, as usual.
Today, we're going to have a little bit of fun. As I've talked about these worthiness interviews that happen behind closed doors with your leader of the Mormon faith, in order to get into the temple, I thought it would be fun to kind of just have Evans hear what these questions are, and we can break them down, and we're going to just kind of take our own spin on it. But he's never heard the questions.
Yes,
He's never been asked the questions. We haven't rehearsed any of this. And so we're going to get his honest take on these questions and
yes.
what he honestly thinks as an outsider as he receives them. And then ultimately, what they really mean. Not
Mm.
just so much what they're saying, but what they really mean for a member.
Between the lines, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what they're really trying to say and enforce. Yeah, that's what today is going to be about. And these are the questions that, in order to, like I said, this country club, this pay to play building where you're supposed to be doing these works that are bringing salvation to mankind and to yourself. What are these questions? How do you get into the temple? What is it
Okay.
all about?
So this is really cool. I really want to prove worthy to get my
Okay.
recommended card to get access to the Mormon temple. So I
Okay.
have got my tie here for anyone that is listening on Spotify. I have got my tie here and I've got my suit here. So seriously ready to be worthy for this approval.
And I like this because I'm probably the first female to be able to extend these questions to any other
Yes.
person. So
Yes.
this is a role reversal, flipping of the script and everything. So it's a little bit kind of crazy and fun.
This is the first time a woman has interviewed a man about his worthiness for the Mormon temple. So,
Yeah. In essence, that is what we're going to be doing. So yeah.
lights, camera.
Action. Long dramatic pause. Well, hello. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Question number one, Evans. Do you have faith in and a testimony of God, the Eternal Father, His Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost?
Yes.
Okay, that is the
Did I,
expected
did I,
answer.
if I hesitated for like 2 seconds, would that be something that they would have to like raise an eyebrow? Like, I'm not sure about
They
that.
might, but
Oh,
ultimately,
okay.
they're wanting you to just answer
Just say
correctly. And as
yes.
long as you do, you're good. Do you have a testimony of the atonement of Jesus Christ and of his role as your Savior and Redeemer?
Jeez, that's a lot. Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, good. That's the right answer.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
then the third question, do you have a testimony of the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ?
What? Okay, what is that? I don't know. Yes.
Okay, right.
Right?
Just keep answering yes. So these first three, I'm going to break them down for you because ultimately these are less about personal belief and they're more about whether you accept the church's vision of these concepts.
Right.
So when they talk about the restoration, what you as
Mm.
a member would be agreeing to is that Joseph Smith
Hmm.
restored the true and living gospel. So again, it's all
Ah,
about the narrative that's been spoon fed to you, whether you've
interesting.
just joined the church or whether you've been a part of it since birth. And
Interesting.
basically, what they're extending to you is, do you agree with the church's vision of these events, of
Right.
who Jesus Christ is,
Right.
and what the atonement means to the LDS Church, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? It's
Okay.
asking you whether you believe no longer in the Trinity if you come from another religion, but in these three separate beings as prescribed by the Mormon faith.
I see.
And so, for example, someone might believe in Christ deeply, but if they reject Joseph Smith or the restoration, they would
Ah.
fail.
So
Okay?
that reminds me of when you are signing up for, well, not signing up, but once you get baptized and you are being kind of like dedicated into the church, you're being kind of like you're sworn into the church kind of. So
Yeah.
you're brought into, you're told to get up, but this is public, right? public as in front of the congregation, so you're told to get up. They will list out the beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and then they will list out, do
Okay.
you accept Holy Trinity? You say, I do. And then you go all the way down to, do you accept that, God has revealed his vision to Ellen G. White, who has given us the time of the end? And then you
Right.
say, I do. And it's like, yep, you are accepting our version of the gospel, not anyone else's version, our version. Okay. Yeah, it reminds me of
Yeah.
that. But it's not in private. And it's not like, it's not twice a year. It's, you do it once and then that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that these questions are once every two
Two
years.
years. Yes.
Every 2 years, because that's as long as you can have a recommend for it, and then it expires, and then you need
Yes.
to
Your
go back
worthiness
in.
expires. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yes,
So,
exactly. And so the control mechanism that I would point people to is that it forces members to tie their spirituality directly to the institutional loyalty,
right.
not in their relationship to God.
Yes. It's a very interesting way they frame the question, right? Because they
Hmm.
frame the question in a very generic way that if you only have to be indoctrinated into how they even use the words to even understand what they mean, because it's like the restoration of Jesus Christ. It's like the restoration of Jesus
Yeah.
Christ is not necessarily about Jesus, it's about Joseph
No.
Smith.
No, when they say that particular question,
Hmm.
it's very much about the
It's about Joseph
restoration.
Smith, right?
Yes. And it's
Yes.
in capital letters. It's a
Oh.
capital R. So it
Oh.
is an
Whoa.
event that they're
Ah,
referencing, which is the whole narrative of Joseph Smith,
I
excuse
see.
me.
I
So yeah.
see. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Fourth
Well, I'm
question.
very nervous now for the next question.
Okay. Do you sustain the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as the prophet, seer, and revelator, and as the only person on the earth authorized to exercise all priesthood keys? Second part. Do you sustain the members of the first presidency and the quorum of the 12 apostles as prophets, seers, and revelators? Third part
Oh
of the
shit.
same
Okay.
question.
Wait.
I know.
I
Do
can't
you
remember all of it.
sustain do you sustain the other general authorities and local leaders of the church? Okay, so part
Okay.
1 is, do you sustain
The
the prophet
presidents. Right.
as the all and be all? Do you sustain his quorum of the 12 of the first
Yes.
presidency as prophets, seers, and revelators? And then pretty much all the rest of the lay clergy, do you sustain them? Do you sustain all the local leaders?
Sustain them as in I submit to them.
Yeah, pretty much you default to their better judgment
Right.
that you support them as they support the faith, you
Yes.
support them.
After all, through them do we have all the mechanisms by which members are placed in the wards and the beehives and all of that. So a lot of the life decisions that are made following that
Right?
is made by them. So do I basically submit my life decisions to them? Sure. Yes, of course. I would be crazy to say no.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so it's like a loyalty oath is
Right.
what's happening
Right.
here. If you believe that the president of the church is the only one with authority on the earth and it leaves no room for your personal
Yeah.
revelation
Yeah.
or
Yes.
anything that could possibly contradict a
Ah.
leader, we've been specifically told that you can have personal revelation for your life. But if
Okay.
it goes against whatever the prophet has dictated or said,
Ah.
then it's not correct. So
Oh.
let's say I am gay
Mm-hmm.
and I have fallen in love with someone and they have fallen in love with me, and I want to still keep the law of chastity, but I want to marry this person who I'm in love with and
Mm-hmm.
I want to create a life with them. This would go against the prophet and what he has stated and what
Interesting.
he has said is the will of God. And I've prayed about it, and I truly feel that I am not to be on this earth and not experience love and to be
Mm.
celibate and to not have that opportunity, this chance that I have fallen for somebody that loves me back and takes care of me. And I want that. And
Mm-hmm.
I have prayed. God has told me that He loves me just the way that I am. And that is okay. I'm enough. But the prophet has said that that's not okay. So what am I supposed to do if it contradicts? And
You default to him. That's why you said yes. That like I'm saying yes
exactly,
right now. Yes.
exactly.
Sure, please.
So my obedience is to men, not to God.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
I wonder if that kind of
And that's a control
I'm not going
mechanism.
to say that. Okay.
What are you
I
wanting
was
to
going to say
say?
something perverse like I wonder if that is something that people ultimately get off on when you are in
Mm,
such a position where you know that
mm,
people are defaulting to you not only with certain decisions financially, mentally, emotionally, but sexually too. I wonder if
yeah.
there is that allows room for some twisted perversion sense of ownership and power to these people in power, these 70 people in power, and the president as well. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, I know the system is set in place that every member that I come in contact with has sworn an oath to default to me. That is some scary level of power. And
It's
that's
yeah,
why I
exactly.
say yes to that answer. Yes, 100%. Yes, please. Please. Yes.
Well done. Well
Okay.
done.
I want to pass. I
All right.
want my card.
You want your recommend? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my recommend.
Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord has said that all things are to be done in cleanliness before him. Do you strive for moral cleanliness in your thoughts and behavior? Do you obey the law of chastity?
Oh. Yeah. Actually,
Evans.
actually.
We
So,
got 10 more questions. If you're
so
going to
hold
slip
on.
up on number 5, what are we going to do?
Wait, I don't have a chance. 5 questions in.
Yeah, we're 5 questions. This one has to be yes. Otherwise, we're going to spend too much
Okay.
time.
All right. Look. Listen, Father. Sorry, Bishop. Sorry, Your Majesty. I don't know what I say. I went.
I'll take
Look,
Empress.
Empress. Okay. Okay. All right. So I went to the gym.
Oh, oh,
So when I went to the gym, I helped out this lady. She was lifting this dumbbell. She was like, "Oh, can I help?" And I helped her out. The problem was she was wearing very unclean clothes. Daughters of Jezebel. Like,
oh.
oh, daughters of Eve. The devil send them to deceive me. They always send them to tempt me. Like, so I don't know if
Oh,
you guys
goodness.
accept the Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit came upon me and gave me the strength to close my eyes. So I was able to
Good
close
job,
my eyes in the
Evans.
nick of time. Yes,
That's
and the
wonderful.
Jezebel walked away from me, and the devil was crying. So victory in Jesus, Amen. So yes, I've been able to
Okay,
remain chaste. Yes.
fantastic. That's great. Phew.
Phew, right. That was a slippery slope,
I
wasn't
know. I was
it?
like, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yeah. What this question does is that it shapes sexuality with shame and fear. And it does so to the youth and any exploration, anything that deviates from, this expectation,
Right.
you're made to feel less faithful.
Mm.
And it allows the religion to police your thoughts, your sexual activity, and even your self-expression. And ultimately, this creates a deep internal monitoring
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Because
your
that,
own desires get policed.
yeah.
There have been so many youth that have been impacted by this because generally, then if a youth says, well, actually, I've been looking at porn or I went too far with my girlfriend or whatever, then the bishop will then dole out a certain program or process for them to regain the ability to take the sacrament. And I don't know if I've spoken enough about this, but it's the communion where
Right.
in the LDS
Right.
faith, every Sunday when you congregate, what's called sacrament meeting, the bread and water, we do bread and water as our communion. They would bring the tray to your row where you're sitting. And if the bishop says, okay, for 6 months, you're not allowed to take the bread and the water, this in front of the entire congregation
Wow.
is seen. And let's say you didn't tell your mom and dad, and you're sitting in the same row with them every Sunday, and you're a
Oh.
16-year-old, and they're
Wow.
like, what's going on? Like, my son didn't take the sacrament. And the son might say, well, I'm working on something with my bishop. And they could be as discreet as they want to, but it signals to everybody, including their family, that they're in trouble, that
Wow.
they've done something bad enough to warrant them
Wow.
from not taking the bread and water, which symbolizes,
Oh.
the body and blood of Christ. This is very, very hard on a youth. It's very embarrassing. It's very hard on an adult, I would imagine as
Yeah.
well. But for a youth, it's so shameful.
Yes.
And this is why I say, like, yeah, if you're honest, you can get a recommend. And there's different levels because there are some that just can't
Mm.
handle what it would do to them socially. And so they would lie. And then the ones that are honest, would maybe have to face something like this. And there have been other traumatic stories where, like I said, if they confess a sexual act, some of these bishops have investigated and asked a lot more. And it's been very uncomfortable for the youth and it's
I can imagine.
inappropriate, in my opinion. And it creates these dynamics where some parents, I've even said, hey, instead of going to the bishop, just come to me. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
you to go through what I went through
Wow.
as a youth. And that would be absolutely not correct in the eyes of the faith. You are to
Right.
go and confess to your bishop, not to your parents.
Right.
And also your parents are to bring you in if it's of a
Oh,
severe enough
okay.
nature
Okay.
where they need help getting a hold of their unruly child. This deep internal monitoring, all of it sets you up for life because then in everything that you do, and you and I were just talking about this earlier today about how my guilt response is, how I'm constantly feeling bad, like, oh, I spoke up, did this. It made somebody else uncomfortable when I stood my ground and created a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just constantly being asked not to have boundaries,
Yes.
because we're allowing for these men in charge to ask us these very invasive questions. And, as a developing youth, you are to explore and you're curious by nature and you're wanting to understand. And I think it's even healthy. And I actually know that it is. And I know that ignorance and that turning it off is not healthy. And it
Mm.
has taken the lives of too many youth for not being able to really explore who they are as people and allow themselves to fully express themselves. I think it's very harmful. And just like Elder McKinley in the Book of Mormon musical has to turn it off anytime he has an immoral thought, or, when he's told by Elder Price, oh, it's okay if you're having homosexual thoughts as long as you don't act on them. And he's like, no,
No.
that would only putting it on low like a dimmer switch. Turn it
Oh
off,
no.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to also mention
Yeah,
that it allows for this environment of judgment between the members.
absolutely.
Like you can't avoid being judgmental with someone when you're taking a sacrament and then they are stuck on the table and it's like, ooh, I know what you did, you know? And it just
Yeah.
creates, and obviously who wants to be there? And it's very funny that in order for parents to protect their children's dignity and their self-esteem and to love them, they have to go against the church in their own way by telling them, no, don't go to the bishop, come to me,
Yeah.
I will
The
protect
healthy
you.
ones, the
The
healthy
healthy
ones will
ones,
take
the
that
yes,
approach. The unhealthy ones will be like, "Oh my gosh,
yeah,
you are a whore or
yeah,
you are this or that.
yeah,
I'm going to have to take you to the bishop
yeah,
and you're going to have to confess
yeah,
and then you're going to have to go through the repentance process."
yeah,
And that brings out this outward societal shame
yes, and
in front of the congregation.
yeah, of course. And this is not something that is unique to Mormonism. This is something
Of course not.
that is religious thing. It's a very, in fact, it's a very tribal thing. You know, the leader gives the rules that no one is absolutely not supposed to cross, and then their own child crosses the rules, and it's like, ooh, let's keep it, away from everybody. Let's just hide it.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
in Seventh-day Adventism, like having a child out of wedlock is like a big no-no. It's frowned
Oh,
upon.
right.
It
Yeah,
is
same.
huge. Like a lot of people have been disfellowshipped because of these things, and then their own children get that situation, and it's like, oh, but
Yeah.
who know? And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, the woman or the man brings in the lady that he has this baby with, and it's like, wait, when did you guys get married? Because obviously that's the only time this is allowed, right? It's like, I don't remember you guys getting married, so did you guys have sex outside of marriage, right? Okay, and then it activates this judgment. So you
Absolutely.
inevitably, even in your best of intentions, you inevitably become a very judgmental person when these rules and these implications are already set in place to say, if you see someone not taking the sacraments, they are bad, or they've done
Yeah,
bad and they're trying to be good again. So you're better than them.
that's correct.
Who wants to subject their child to that? And it's very
Oh, yeah.
understandable
Yeah.
that some parents would go against their programming
Yeah,
and be empathetic towards their children to say, because I went through it, I don't want you to go through it. See, that is a
exactly.
huge thing. And when it comes to Christianity, it has been like this since the beginning of time, since the rise of it being viral, being famous. The rules have always been bent for certain people to make their situation separate. Like, for example, this is something that a lot of Christians in the mainstream Christianity likes when it comes to the issue of slavery. They like to use
Okay.
this story as somehow being against slavery, where you have Paul writing to Philemon as to one of the slaves, advocating for him to free that slave because he likes him very much. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, are you against slavery as an institution, or do you want just this person to no longer be slave? Yeah, he's like, oh, just let him be free because we like him. And it's like, oh, okay, and then he frees him. So it's like, can you bend the rules for this, for this person, just for me, but not for everyone else? Everyone else is fine. We're all slaves in Christ, but you can still remain a slave. And yeah, as time goes on, Christianity just takes shape. Mainstream Christianity
Yeah.
just keeps taking shape, and it still takes shape. You shall not drink in the church, and then people get caught drinking in the church, and it's like, but is it really that bad when you drink? Actually, maybe if you drink and you don't get drunk, and then a different church is formed, a different denomination is formed. Oh, maybe ladies, you shouldn't wear trousers. I remember in Seventh-day Adventism in Ghana, women were not allowed to wear trousers. You don't wear trousers. So when you see a woman outside wearing trousers, that's atrocious. That is like,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
You come to church, you talk about it. And I remember as a kid, like 9, 10 year old, making it my business.
Yeah.
Making it my business as a 9, 10 year old that I saw some auntie in the market one day wearing trousers. I made it my business to come and
Yeah.
gossip at church. Well, why
Yeah.
did I think it was my business? Because that's the good thing to do. As
Right.
a Seventh-day Adventist, that would be the good thing to do, is to be judgmental.
And then if you can other people, like that's a them.
Mm-hmm.
That they are
Mm,
that way. I will
mm-hmm.
not be like
I will
that.
never
I
be
am
that way.
better. It creates
Yeah.
that dynamic.
Yeah.
And one of the most beautiful things that came from leaving the Mormon faith for me is that I don't have to waste all this time judging. I've become less judgmental. I don't have to worry about if somebody's wearing shorts that go to the knee so that I know that they are covering their garments. And so, all of these things, all of this policing that we do to ourselves, that we do to other members, that the leadership does to us, it's so exhausting.
It is. It is.
And to not have that in my life anymore is
Oh,
wonderful. I
I
can just be
agree.
me. I can wear short shorts. I can wear tank tops. I can style my hair however I want to. I can eat and drink in moderation the things that feel good to me, not just what another person is telling me that I need to do,
Yeah.
and telling me that if I do something like that, not only am I a bad person, but it could disqualify me from heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
because it's disqualifying you from heaven, then that means that it disqualifies you from our social circle. You see,
yes,
so it's a lot of punishment that you have to
yes,
pay, and then you deserve it. And not only
yes,
that, they feel justified for doing that, for ostracizing you, because in some way it
yeah,
makes them feel even closer to the church and closer to God by
right,
ostracizing you, because that means that they are not trying to entertain the sin. So that makes them closer to God. It is a machine that eats itself. It
yeah,
eats its own members. And unfortunately, a lot of members are victimized by this, and some realize what's happening and they are able to escape. A lot of people don't realize it, and they become the victim of the very own system. It's such a shame. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I answered that question right though, so I pass.
You did great.
Question six, question five.
Yeah, we're going to six. Let me pull it back up. Do you follow the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ in your private and public behavior with members of your family and others?
How would I do it in the public behavior? As in,
When you're out and about in
yeah, out and
public,
about. Like, how do I be?
are you a representative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Like, do you
How would I be Mormon in the grocery store? Like, how would I come across publicly? Like, how do I Mormon?
Well, what does the Book of Mormon musical teach you? We're going to be fucking polite to everyone.
We're gonna blow God's freaking mind. Okay, okay,
Yeah, you
I
present
see.
clean cut,
Mm,
kind, good. Mormons,
mm,
Utah has that reputation of like, oh, the people are so nice. Everybody's so nice,
mm.
and they are, but that's part of
That's
it.
part of
It's
it, right?
mhm.
They are
You need to
ticking a box.
present.
They are ticking
Yes.
the box, and they are
Yeah.
representing a constitution. They are representing an institution. They are not representing themselves. They themselves are not there. So basically,
Yeah.
every time you see a Mormon member in public, you are not seeing the
Yeah.
person. You are seeing the Mormon Church,
Yeah. And then the
right?
sad thing is that what this is really this is the sad part is that this is kind of the question of like, do you treat your wife with respect at home?
Is this
Are
the next question?
you No,
Oh,
I'm just saying this is that question.
oh,
Sadly, by just asking this
oh!
broad stroke type questions,
Wow,
like,
that's
do you follow the
crazy.
teachings of Jesus Christ? It's like, oh, well, Jesus Christ wasn't a wife beater, and Jesus Christ. So there's a lot
Wait.
of things implied in that.
Oh, so they don't ask those questions directly. They
No,
kind of imply it.
no.
But that depends on who you're asking because you know I never even my brain didn't even go there. So
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
answered yes to that question, my mind wouldn't even have touched how I treat people myself. My mind would be more focused on, well, how did I treat people publicly, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
even care about privately.
Well, and it says, do you follow the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ in your private and public behavior with members of your family and others? So it's like, how do you treat your family
Okay, okay,
members?
fair enough. It's still a very vague question though.
It is.
Let me
It's
see,
very
let me
broad.
see. I go to work as a Mormon man. I have a slave wife. So making all the money and she's doing all the work. She's barefoot and pregnant, so she should shut the fuck up. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think yes.
You just remind her all the time.
And every 2 weeks I remind her. A week
Yeah.
and a half, I remind her. I don't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She enjoys going out though with my money, but I
Hey,
allow her to go outside.
let me go right to the seventh question because they kind of go hand in hand. Do you support or promote any teachings, practices, or doctrine contrary to those of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
No, don't check my Facebook. No.
Exactly. And so, like, it's about following teachings and rejecting contradictory doctrines. So, this shuts down any independent thought. And if you question or promote alternate ideas, you are unworthy. What this does
Mm,
is it keeps the members from seeking truth outside of the institution. And so,
interesting.
that,
I imagine that messages to the contrary wouldn't be like something like what we are doing. Like we are definitely blasphemous of God, right? We are, all of those things. I don't think that would be what they are necessarily referring to, because it could be any message that goes against the teachings of Mormonism. So it could still be good
correct.
advice. It could still be within the confines of Christianity,
Oh, yes.
right?
This
Just
is
not,
within, yeah,
yes,
the Church of
specifically
Jesus
within,
Christ
yeah.
of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if I say,
So,
hey, maybe that dress looks good on you, I think you should wear that dress, and maybe it doesn't really touch your knee that much, but
mhm.
it's fine, and we are just going to the cinema, it's okay. And you know what? It's fine because Jesus Christ would understand, and blah 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 blah. So that would be me going contrary to the Mormon
Yes,
tenets. I see. Okay, okay.
yes. No, that wouldn't be okay. But then, yeah, if, I mean, here we are, two sinners on a Sunday. If anybody was a true believing member and was listening to us and they confessed it, yeah, this would
This
be
would
something.
disqualify them,
Yeah,
and they would be
because
given things to work on.
exactly, it could be anything. But
I
yeah,
wonder, yeah, I wonder what they would be given to work on in this instance if they are spreading fake news, so to speak.
mm. Well, I mean, yeah, anything like that would not be okay and it would go against the institution. And so this is a big problem. And
Oh,
yeah,
so this wouldn't be like a corrective one. This would kind of be like a big slap.
this one has gotten a lot of people in trouble, Evans. This is what gets you
Oh.
excommunicated because if you start
Oh.
entertaining outside thought, remember how
Wow.
I've told you about the CES letter?
Oh, she brought
Okay.
receipts. Yep.
I did. So this CS letter was a member
Mm-hmm.
in good standing who had questions, and he brought these questions. He put it all down on paper and he put it and asked and started pushing that needle and pushing buttons and saying, well, what about this? What about this? This doesn't add up. This doesn't make sense. My research shows this. And the more he did it, and then especially when he printed it out or put it on the internet, all of that is not okay. Although he's asking honest questions
Mm,
and just wanting honest answers,
mm.
he was looked at as inflammatory. He was looked at as not being obedient. And so they
Right.
held a disciplinary council where it is all
Interesting.
these head up men, leaders. Basically, it's like a judgment day where they
Yeah.
say, okay, you've been found guilty, bringing this to the public and asking these questions, and none of this is okay. And so we're going to excommunicate you. If anybody's interested, Jeremy Runnels, who is the author of the CS letter, when he was held at his disciplinary council, he actually had his phone with him and he
Oh,
recorded
he
what happened.
recorded it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
so
on. I
cool.
watched it and it is very very vulnerable, very
Wow.
horrific what they did to this man for asking questions. And keep in mind, I think he's either hard of hearing or a deaf man. And so a
Okay.
lot of the reasoning why he even put it all in paper is because this is his strength in communication with others.
Mm,
But yeah, he was excommunicated for having questions, for thinking and learning outside of what the Mormon faith has prescribed to its members to
mm.
only believe and accept as the true narrative. And
Here's a
so,
question. Oh,
yeah.
finish your
No, no,
thought.
no.
Yeah.
My thought is that, yeah, if you participate in any of these groups, even as benign as what we do on our podcast, you could get in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't get in trouble on our podcast, I don't think we're doing a good job, really. Our podcast is the biggest one you should get in trouble for. So yes, I will make sure of it.
Like and subscribe.
Sadiga Yumawai, all of it. But here's a question. For an apostate, we know what happens to you. You are just a no-no, a bad. You are
Yeah.
not even going to make the third heaven, right? You're not even going to make that one. You're going to go
No.
to outworld. How do you say it?
Outer darkness is where
Outer
I'm headed.
darkness. Yes.
Yeah.
For an excommunicated member, what does that look like? Because this is
Um,
not a member rejecting a message. This is the church rejecting the member.
Right. So what I believe happens, and again, I'm gonna have to do research
That's
to
okay.
give you
That's totally fine.
the
Yes.
exact thing,
Okay.
but just in general, and anybody that knows better, please comment. But I believe that being excommunicated, they how they present it, it's almost like they're helping you out. And what I mean by that
Mm.
is you've made all these oaths and covenants that you're being held to.
Mm-hmm.
Excommunication is like a mercy because now that
Oh.
you've gone off the deep end,
Mm-hmm.
you are now no longer subject to the consequences of having broken those oaths and covenants. So we've done you a favor by stripping you of them.
What
And
would be the non-favor?
I, what do you mean the non-favor?
So they are doing you a favor by publicly shaming you across the whole
Mm-hmm.
congregation. Your life is about to be
Yeah.
destroyed right now. Your business
Yeah.
deals, your friendships,
Yeah.
everyone is about to
Sure.
be separate from you. That is the favor.
Yeah.
What would be the non-favor? What was going to be worse than that?
that God would then hold you to those promises that you made and say you didn't keep them. So you're in trouble and you're going to go to this place. And I don't know exactly what that place
Okay.
would be, whether it's the lower
S-
kingdoms, the telestial, the terrestrial,
So why don't they leave it to God then?
because men are the ones
Oh,
that
okay.
dole out
Right.
these judgments. Exactly.
Interesting.
That's why the second anointing is such a joke, because again, it's a
Mm,
man making that call. And
mm.
that's what jarred
Okay.
me. I was like, hang on a second. So you mean that on this earth, a man can decide and make the ultimate decision that you're allowed into the celestial kingdom? I thought that was only reserved for God.
Yeah.
Wise man being allowed to make such a selection and
Yeah.
or judgment.
Yeah.
And so for me, that completely upset me because
Yeah.
I
I
just
think
can't imagine.
I think it was
Yeah.
George Carlin that said famously
Mhm.
said that it's a big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah, exactly.
You are
And
not in the
I
club.
love George Carlin's pretty awesome when it comes to this stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway, next question. I'm
All
really
right.
tense now.
So number eight. You're doing great.
Oh, I'm passing.
So far you're doing great. Okay. Do you strive to keep the Sabbath day holy, both at home and at church? Attend your meetings, prepare for and worthily partake of the sacrament, and live your life in harmony with the laws and commandments of the gospel.
Wow, that sounded very 70 Adventist right there. Jeez.
Huh.
Oh, it brought me
Well,
back.
there you go.
Brought me back home.
Aw,
Yes,
you're
that was
welcome.
this is where we overlap. See, this
There
is
you
where we're
go.
distant cousins. Yes,
Okay.
I now I'm going to answer as a 70 Adventist now. On the Sabbath day, I don't avail myself to any secular form of entertainment. I do not
Okay.
find myself in any secular presence like bars or clubs or basketball courts or sports or hospitals or
Okay.
workplace or any
Good.
place that is not in God's presence, because obviously God is everywhere.
Yes.
But you shouldn't go to the clubs because God is not
No, for
there.
sure.
But as a Seventh-day Adventist, I don't listen to secular music. I don't do anything that takes my attention away from God. I read the Bible,
Perfect.
watch biblical
Perfect.
movies, and everything like that. So yes, I think I'm very I'm good. I take the
Ding, ding,
sacraments as well.
ding.
Yes, and I sing the songs.
Do you exchange money on the Sabbath day? Do you go
Oh,
shopping?
oh yes, I forgot that. That's a big one. I do not go to work on the
Mm.
Sabbath day. I do not buy even if my kid is dying. Although, they don't care about that now. But
Just go get the Catholic next door to go buy diapers or whatever.
but then that is you inciting for someone else to break the Sabbath as well.
Yes, you're
So yeah,
right. You're
exactly.
right.
So now
You're so right.
you're just as guilty. So yes,
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be doing that. So by the way, Seventh Day Adventists do not give a shit about the Sabbath rules. By the way, so yes. They have loopholes.
Okay.
They have loopholes. Oh, Jesus Christ doesn't give a shit about the
Oh,
Sabbath
I
anymore.
know.
Eh.
But this is like me being letter of the law about it. But yeah,
Yes.
I think there were times for me where it's like, well, if I buy something on Amazon on Sunday and it doesn't get here until Tuesday, does it really count? Am I like it's virtual money? I'm not exactly exchange like the rationalization sometimes that you dance
Yes.
around
Yes.
are
I
there.
think,
And
yeah, I
so,
think you guys should go listen to the episode when I was talking about the Seventh Day Adventist Church. I think you guys
okay.
would really enjoy it because we delve deeper into the whole idea of what it means to work on the Sabbath or do anything like that on the Sabbath. And it's like, it's so vague, it's so undefined, it's almost unfair. Well, it's unfair. But
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
you did speak to that.
yeah.
But anyway, Sabbath day meeting sacrament, it measures the loyalty through the church attendance and the ritual participation. And the control mechanism is that through that attendance and participation, you are tracked socially and spiritually, and
Mm.
it's a conformity that's reinforced
The
like,
Sabbath day is Saturday though.
for you guys. Yeah.
Actually, you are wrong. Sorry,
Yeah.
I still have my Seventh Day
Yeah.
Adventist hat on. Let me take it off. Let me take it
Oh,
off.
oh
What am I?
yeah,
I'm in a
please.
Mormon
Come on.
interview.
You have the
Come
Mormon
on.
tie on.
I'm almost
Take
there.
the hat
I'm
off.
almost
Yeah,
there. I'm
come on.
almost getting my
Come on.
recommendation. Come on.
We are
Man
over
up.
halfway through the questions. Don't screw up now.
Yeah,
So,
I'm manning up.
do you strive to be honest in all that you do? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it seems neutral, right? This surface level honesty often gets conflated with your honesty about your faith. And so, can you really
Mm.
be fully honest about your doubts and keep a recommend, So there's
Wow.
that wrestle as
Yeah.
well. And it redefines honesty to mean transparency only in ways that don't threaten the institution.
Yes.
So basically, again, where I'm going to get to with all of this in the end is like, how much of this is about just making sure you're in line with the institution
Right.
more than anything else? Okay, number 10, are you a full tithe payer?
Oh, wait. Oof. I mean, you
10%
didn't have to get
is a full
personal.
tithe payer. Yes, we
You,
had to
you
go to
didn't
the
have to get,
financials.
didn't have to get personal. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
So as a Seventh-day Adventist, this is what happened. Every month, the card that you have to put the money in and sign in the form and put it in and all of that. We had
Yes.
that too. Seventh-day
Yes.
Adventists, we had that too.
Brilliant.
Is the deacon that brings it to you. So the deacon
Yes.
brings it to you and you have to return it. And then he
Yes.
looks at you like, you motherfucker, you better put something in there, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. So the deacons know who has submitted their cards in and who hasn't because they keep records
Yeah.
of who brought it in. And so a lot of people do their best to pay the tithe and bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time, they either don't give fully. When they
Mm-hmm.
don't give fully,
Mm.
they will hear about it. Either covertly or
Mm.
overtly, they will hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how old a deacon is in the Mormon faith?
I would imagine. Oof. Okay, just trying to think. From my perspective, I'm used to
Hmm.
deacons being very seasoned. So,
Right. Yeah.
how old is a deacon?
11.
Oh my God.
So we have the 11, 12, and 13-year-olds that are going
Oh,
around asking, they're, collecting.
why?
Well,
Why?
the thing that I think is the most fucked up about this is that it ties money as a condition to your spiritual standing. When this is one of the, what's the word, systemic questions within the interview
Mm,
process where it is given its own question. It is,
right, right.
are you paying?
Yeah,
Are you giving the church
yeah,
what has asked of
yeah.
you? And if you're not going to get in. So it's the
So,
pay to
so
play,
this is a
and
definite.
it's
This is a definite. Like,
yeah,
there's no workarounds. The
no,
workaround would be. I mean, I guess because you have the tithe settlement every year, the workaround would probably have been resolved at that time to say, okay,
hopefully,
you owe
yeah,
this much arrears. You
that's
do this, you
right,
do this, you do this.
right,
Okay,
yeah.
and this goes
Are you
from
giving it?
children
Yeah.
to adults.
Yep, pretty much after you are baptized at 8 years of age.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay, good job. All right, let me see here. Number 11. Do you understand and obey the word of wisdom? This is our health code. This is our
Oh,
health law. And
okay.
so, what it's asking you, and we will do an entire podcast or maybe several just on what these asks within the word of wisdom, which is what they entitled this health code. We'll explore all of that. But basically, it's like, do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke? Do you drink coffee? Tea? You can have herbal tea, but you can't have green or black tea. And so,
Do you eat pork?
no, that's not a question. Yeah, that's not part of it. I mean, they do say
Mm.
the meat is supposed to be used sparingly. And the truth is that that's what's also really ridiculous is that here I am a vegetarian and at some of my ex-in-laws barbecues and things like that, a ridiculous and embarrassing amount of meat gets eaten in a meal. And yet I actually follow the word of wisdom a lot better when it comes to that department. But because I drink coffee, I'm bad. And
Yeah.
so it's like they
Not
don't drink coffee, but they
not good
eat a
enough.
ridiculous amount of meat.
Yeah.
And yet that's okay. Like they're not following the word of wisdom either, if you really take it to the letter.
Well,
And
it's to be
so,
used
yeah.
sparingly, but sparingly
Yes.
could mean a full stomach.
and leaving that last chicken wing. That
Yes.
is using it sparingly.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. Leaving it for leftovers for tomorrow.
So for this one, no coffee, tea, alcohol, tobacco, but soda, sugar, and processed
Oh.
food are fine. And so
Oh,
again,
really?
it's a well, I mean, it's just not in the Word of Wisdom because when the Word of Wisdom was written, there isn't really
Yeah, soda.
there. Yeah, none of those things were
And it's
really
not
around.
updated.
No.
Wow. Okay.
And so it serves as a visible marker of obedience,
They
not
probably
true
should
health.
update it because the food is getting
Exactly.
crazier now. Like they have
Exactly.
even.
That's why it really has nothing to do with health. What it has to
Mm,
do is, again, that obedience,
interesting,
that
because they would be
compliance.
updating it if it was about health. They would be looking at the
Yeah,
science and the what
absolutely.
food science has to say about what's probably healthy and then stick to that.
Yeah.
But it's
They
not
should come
about that.
out and say
Mm.
those monster drinks, those
Mountain
things,
Dews, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
are really, really bad for your health. Stay
Yeah,
away from them. But
yeah,
instead, it's just coffee and tea, which
yeah.
actually scientists have found has a lot of
It has a lot of
wonderful
benefits, yeah.
benefits that can really, really help you and with gut health and
Right.
so many things. Either way, it is another control tactic.
Yes,
And
it definitely is. If they are not paying attention to what is actually healthy and just have
that's right.
some healthy tenets
Yeah.
and they use that as a marker, that's definitely a sign of control and nothing about health.
Home stretch, last four
Oh,
questions.
there we
Okay.
go.
Do you have any financial or other obligations to a former spouse or to children? If yes, are you current in meeting those obligations? Isn't this an
Oh,
interesting
that's an
question?
interesting question. Are you paying your baby mama still?
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, because that's what I'm obligated to do if I was meant to
absolutely.
make all the money and she was meant to do all the homework and I wasn't helping
Yeah,
out any of it and
yeah,
making it worse by adding more problems
yeah.
to the home and all of that, then yes, I am meeting all my obligations to my ex.
I kind of just feel like on the surface, this is like it looks like accountability and like they,
It looks
but a
like it.
lot of, yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like it. But ultimately, how I feel it is, it's almost like the church wanting to cover its ass, where it's like, hey, we asked this question. They said
Yeah.
that they were
Just
paying you. So if
washing their
somebody comes
hands.
in, yeah, they're washing their hands of it and they're getting into your personal life again and into your family life again.
Yeah.
And so to
I mean, I
me,
think by the time you ask me what I'm being, chased and I'm not having impure thoughts. I mean, by the time you ask that, I think we are way past asking personal questions. You can
that's
ask me
true.
my mother's maiden name, my
That
bank
is
pin
true.
number at that point, my favorite boxer shorts. You might as well just ask that because you've
You're not
just.
wearing boxer shorts if you're going to the temple, Evans. You're wearing the garments.
Oh, can I wear
Which
boxer?
brings me, no, you cannot wear boxer shorts, which brings me to question number 13. Do you keep the covenants that you made in the temple, including wearing the temple garment as instructed in the endowment?
It's a bit scratchy. Yes, I wear it
I'm
every day.
sorry,
That's
Evans.
it's a
You
bit
have
tight.
to
Can I
wear
get
it.
can I get an adjustment? I'm wearing it every day. Like, can
Lose
I?
some weight. Just
Oh
kidding.
wow. Okay. I guess I will lose some weight. Can I
Oh.
buy new ones or like do I just get assigned one? Oh, I can
Absolutely.
buy new
Yeah,
ones. Okay.
no. I mean, obviously, if you lose weight, you would go
You would
down a
go.
size. If you gain weight,
Right.
you're gonna do that. If you,
Yeah.
like for me, oh my goodness, I've had so many different sizes through pregnancies
Oh
and
wow.
so on that, and they have maternity garments and
Wow.
so on. So
Yeah.
yeah. So again, another thing where you're policing yourself. Like, am I wearing the, oh, I actually decided not, like, instead of coming home right after the gym,
Mm-hmm.
showering and putting on clean garments, I went to the grocery store and I kind of liked it. I kind of liked being free to not
Oh.
have to wear it all the
How
time. And
dare
I
you?
kind of wore my workout clothes all day, so I couldn't wear the garment. And so I
Ah.
rationalize and I,
How dare you?
it's
Oh,
horrible.
oh, the
Horrible.
humanity.
Yeah.
Absolute reprehensible. Ali, that is, I can't
And
believe.
then number 14 is, are there serious sins in your life that need to be resolved with priesthood authority as
Oh,
part of your repentance?
serious sins.
Yeah, so that
Define
one's heavy.
serious
Again,
sins.
it's a broad stroke, right? It keeps the members literally cloaked in the church's authority 24/7. It
Um,
forces you now to confess to male leaders as the only way to resolve your moral struggles. And
what's
so
serious sins? What is there an example of a serious sin?
I think the
Because
serious
yesterday
sin,
I took a pencil and I didn't return
mm,
it.
I mean, I'm sure the bishop would say no. If you have a very strict leader, then yeah, he could easily say, well, that's stealing. That's breaking one of the Ten Commandments.
Oh, the Ten Commandments? What?
Yes.
Wait, it's
Sure, we believe in the Ten
oh,
Commandments.
this whole time? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Why are you not
Yeah, of
asking me
course.
about the Ten Commandments?
Yeah.
That came out of left field. Oh, well, actually, but
Sorry.
that's the Ten Commandments. Like, you didn't ask me this. I didn't know that Ten Commandments was part of this.
All right. All right.
Sorry, I'm new to this interview.
Yes, we
Sorry.
believe in the Ten Commandments. That's a whole other thing. Right now, we're talking about these questions.
The
And
15
so, like,
Commandments.
okay,
Okay.
so again, wearing of the garments is insider only requirement that demands constant outward expression of an inward conformity, is how
Mm,
I wrote
mm,
it down. And then
yeah.
while the serious sin question forces you to create a dependency on this hierarchy in order to gain forgiveness. You can't have it
Mm,
on your own. So let's
yeah.
say that you watched porn, or
Mm-hmm.
let's say that you fooled around with your boyfriend, you stole $5 from your grandma, anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, stole a pencil, anything like that. And then we go to really serious sins like
Like.
molesting a child, your own child, or beating your spouse,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that, embezzling, stealing from
Fraud.
your business partner,
Yeah.
fraud, anything major like that would be considered a serious sin. And
So how
so
would they
you
tackle that?
so you would go and you would say that, well,
I
and
molested
that's
my child
where
yesterday, last night. In fact, I'm
Evans,
going back to molest my kid after this.
that is a podcast in and of itself, but
Okay.
one of the
Okay.
horrors of the Mormon faith that we've even touched on in previous podcasts is then the bishop would probably call the hotline that has been designed for these leaders to consult with attorneys and to say,
Attorneys.
hey, do I need to report this? And the attorney would say, it's best you don't, or whatever. It's not a hotline to social workers or to the police
Yeah,
or
so
whatever else. This is about making sure that the institution is preserved at all
exactly. I thought
costs.
so because I was just about to ask whose attorneys are we calling?
Exactly. It is the church's
The
attorney.
church's attorneys. So someone does a crime and it's like the
Correct.
first thing that they worry about is the church's
Correct.
situation. Yeah.
Correct.
Fuck them kids. We call the attorney to see, hey, are we in trouble for this? And no, we're not in
Yeah.
trouble for this. It's fine. Or actually, we are in trouble for this. So you better keep it hush hush or something like that.
All of these questions have been about your loyalty to the institution, to the organization. Let me
Yes.
point it to you. When you really stop and think about it, you have to ask yourself, are any of these questions really what a father in heaven would care in order to enter back into his presence? Like,
Mm,
would he really care that I've sworn allegiance to this institution? Where's the question?
mm,
Are you kind? Are you a good person? Do you help your fellow man? You
mm.
do? Okay, I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
which denomination you're a part of. If you are a Hindu, if you
Mm,
are a Catholic, if you are a good Muslim and are being good to those around you, I would welcome you back. I would want to be with you. But no, you have to be swearing allegiance and doing all of these
yeah.
things that really are about this institution, not about you,
Yeah.
not about your relationship with God. Do you
The
wear the right clothes? Are
yeah.
you eating the food that the church tells you that you can? Are you, sleeping with the right people? Are
Mm-hmm.
you paying the right amount? All of
Yes.
these things are
Mm-hmm.
what these questions are about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making sure that you are staying in your lane, keeping your head low,
Mm-hmm.
making sure you're not listening to this podcast, making sure
Yes.
that you're not doing the things we don't want you to do. It's all about control. It's infuriating because if I am to believe in a loving Father in heaven, that Father in heaven wouldn't give a crap about any of these questions. And yet,
Mm.
these are the questions that signal to the rest of your community whether you are worthy or not,
Yes.
whether you can attend your sister's wedding.
It makes sense with the title being worthy, because all of these things are little boxes that you need to tick so that you actually do feel worthy when the church grants you the recommendation. So it actually gives you that validation that you are in fact worthy. Whereas the
Yeah.
thing is, these questions are broken down in a way that is already indoctrinated to the kids as this is what it means to be good. In order to
Yeah.
means to be good, you need to follow the prophet. You need to follow the prophet, 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 right? This
Yeah.
is what you need to do. This is what it means to be good, is to go on your mission, is to
Yeah.
not think impure thoughts, is to not listen to any information that goes contrary to this, is to pay your tithe on time, is to wear your garments, is to do all the
Yes.
rituals. This is what it means to be good. This is
This
what it
is what.
means. It means to be
Mhm.
kind. What does it mean to be kind? Well, the question is, have you treated anybody, badly in your family, or have you behaved like a Mormon in your public? These are all the questions are broken down to frame the way that what goodness and kindness and just being a decent person has been distorted and indoctrinated into the minds of the average Mormon member. So when they break down these questions for a Mormon, I would imagine that they are in fact answering questions that is in alignment with what it means to be a good person. And that becomes very hard for someone to see it as asking questions to
Yeah.
check boxes that the
Yeah.
church approves. That's why the church works very hard on indoctrinating people to understand that being a loyal member means
Yeah.
being a good person. I understand why people wouldn't question this, because it's very easy for us to, well, not easy for you, but it's very easy for me to listen to these questions and be like, what the actual fuck? Like, it's very easy for me to do that, right? But
Right.
putting myself in the shoes of someone who has gone through a heavy indoctrination, having given the
Yeah.
chance and thrown into a marriage that I didn't consent to, by the way, is there's a lot that I'm dealing with for me to have the
Hmm.
time to think whether the questions that they're asking me is actually about me being good, because I'm only concerned with being good with the church, because being good with the church means being good with God, and I get to be in heaven, and hopefully, wink wink, I get a second anointing, you know. Yeah.
That would be given to you by a man
By a
on
man,
this earth.
the right
Yes,
man.
the right one. I mean, a lot of times these questions are presented as private and holy, but in reality, they are secretive. So again, we go to that secret versus sacred. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because if outsiders knew how much scrutiny members have to endure just to get into the temple,
Mm.
it would
Mm.
expose how controlling the system is. And so
Yes.
this isn't about God knowing your heart.
Yes.
This is about the church monitoring your loyalty.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Ooh.
read the very last question and then
There
we
we go.
can.
Drum roll.
All
Drum
right,
roll.
here we go.
Drum roll. This is it. This is it. I'm about to become a Mormon.
No, no, you're already a
14.
Mormon.
Oh
You're
wait, I'm
about
about
to
to be
go into the
there
temple.
it is. There it is.
This is for
Yes.
the temple.
This is for the
Okay,
temple. Yes.
so do you consider yourself worthy to enter the Lord's house
Oh
and
shit.
participate in temple ordinances?
Okay.
Okay, well, starting off with, oh
Fuck.
shit's not going to get you in.
All right, sorry. I just didn't expect that to be the question. Oh,
Well, you don't
so
think
I
that
should judge
I am
myself.
going to place
Right.
judgment on you. I'm going to let
You place the
you,
judgment on yourself.
you get the final judgment.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all the questions that I've answered,
Self-regulate,
right?
self-punish with your own guilt.
Yes,
Come
yes.
on.
So they build you up with the guilt. They
Oh,
build you up with the shame. And then
absolutely.
last one, the
Last
fanfare
of
lights
all.
up, the fireworks
Oh,
goes off, and it's like,
heavens.
are you worthy? Truth or
Yeah.
dare? Deal or no deal? Are you ready? And then you're like, deal or no deal? Or is there a
I
situation?
can't.
Is there a
I
situation
mean,
where you say deal and the bishop says no deal?
no.
Is there a
This
situation
is
like that?
not The Price is
Oh
Right.
no. Okay.
That's not
Well,
how this
sorry.
works.
Sorry. I mean, is there a situation where someone says, "Yes, I am worthy," and the bishop is like, Nuh-uh.
Nah, not gonna happen. Like, I saw you last Thursday at the
Yeah,
bar.
bro, no.
That's not gonna
I don't
happen.
think so.
I know that I have cried answering this question
Oh,
because at this point,
wow.
sorry, my
Oh, hey, dog.
dog.
We need to always introduce the dog to everybody, by the way, because the
This
dog
is
is a very.
Fable.
Hello,
Fable, come
Fable.
here. You want?
Fable is a very active member of the podcast.
Yeah. Where are you, girl? There
Oh.
you are. All
Yeah.
right, Fable. I have felt unworthy, like I haven't been good enough, and I have felt guilt, and I have had a hard time answering yes to that question.
Wow.
And so my bishop will even, the priesthood leader will even rephrase it and say to me, Allie, are you trying? And I'll say, and frame that way, I was able to say yes.
Wow. So they have
Um,
to reframe it from a judgmental one to an empathetic
Sometimes.
one.
Yeah.
So from
I've
a
had sweet
that's very
bishops that have seen me
right.
struggle answer that question, and so they'll reframe it
Wow.
that way. And then at that point, I can answer honestly and I can
Very
say, yes,
interesting.
I try to be worthy.
Damn,
And then
man.
I was able to get
So
in.
well cultivated questions that makes the members do the work for the church. The church doesn't have to make the pronunciation. The
I
members,
guess.
and that's I
Yeah.
guess that's why they work so hard with teaching you the right way from the
Yeah.
get go. Like they work so
Yeah.
hard at this because these questions are basically testing the indoctrination that they've been working so hard. That's what
Exactly.
this is.
That's a brilliant way to put it. It's
Yeah.
exactly that. It's testing the indoctrination.
Yeah. And
How
then
well
when
have
you
we
pass,
done?
how well have we
Are,
done? Yes.
mhm.
Exactly. And then when we grade you and it's like, yep, you can enter the fun house now. Very
And
interesting.
worthiness ultimately gets tied to institutional loyalty, not personal integrity. Your mental and sexual autonomy are undermined. Shame and surveillance keeps the members obedient,
Hmm.
and belief is learned to be measured rather than explored.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all
That's
of those
exactly
things
what it
get put
is.
together with these
Oof, this
questions.
is tough. I must say, some of them did get me thinking
Okay.
about the SDA Church
Okay.
and the indoctrination and the teachings and the tenets and how similar it actually was with the expectations as a Mormon. Although it's
Yeah.
very different, as for an SDA, you can just be whatever you want and still be able to go to church. For a Mormon, you can go to the membership gathering, but you can't enter the temple. And this is a very detrimental situation if someone is not granted a recommendation. It's very clear as well that this is what's happening. That's very interesting. Okay, so how did I do?
You did great. You get to go
Yay!
to the
Yeah,
temple.
good to do things for dead people. Hey,
There
yes,
you go.
I get to throw the
Exactly.
ring in
But
the Mordor and take my lightsaber with me.
Elder Cunningham, you get to do all of that in the temple.
The Book of Arnold. Right. Oh
Yeah.
man. So I can
Yeah.
let me just say this though. This is I am so sorry that whatever and however many times you did this
Yeah.
all your life and the pain that you had to deal
Hmm.
with as a faithful Mormon, as someone who is genuinely doing their best with all the trials that's been thrown at you, life throwing curveballs at you one after the other, dealing with treatments that are not so healthy in
Hmm.
your own personal lives, your own
Hmm.
family life, and
Hmm.
being sitting in front of a bishop who doesn't know any of these nuances going on in your life,
No. Yeah.
and taking you through these guilt and shame ridden questions to test your loyalty to the
Yeah.
church that wouldn't bat an eye with what's going on with you at home.
Yeah.
And you are sitting there in a moment that brings you to tears
Yeah.
because you're trying.
Yeah. And because I'm trying. And
Yeah.
sometimes that was a frustration for me
Mm.
where I knew very well that so and so just got their temple recommend, But I knew very well that in their personal life, in what was going on at home, it didn't align with the church's teachings.
Interesting.
And I
Right.
and I would get a little bit frustrated, but then I would get called to repentance if I questioned that or
Right.
whatever. And it's
Interesting.
like that's not your place. That's between them and their priesthood leader. You need to stay out of it. Just worry about
Wow.
yourself. And so it was like, okay, but I know that, this is going on and whatever. And so it was really sometimes frustrating for me. But then
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, oh, well, you're judging unrighteously. Like
Mm.
it's not your place. Like, you've got enough to deal with in your own life. Like
That's you
just,
doing the
stay out of it.
stay out of
Yeah,
it, doing your own policing, your own thought policing
exactly.
right there. And
Yeah.
then that's a lot to go through every two
Yeah.
years. Did you
Yeah.
did you go every 2 years?
I went every 2 years up until I think the last time must have been around 2014 was the last time I went to the temple.
Okay.
So at that
Wow.
point, I think I was 30. So I think up until I was 30, so between 30 and 40, that was
Oof.
my rebellious era. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I don't know. Let's find a
Right.
better word. What era would we call it? It was when I
I,
started to think.
yeah.
It was
Explore as well. Yeah.
slowly, yeah, as soon as I started little by little granting myself permission
Mm-hmm.
to think
Mm-hmm.
on my own, to use those critical thinking skills, yeah, I stopped going back and having interviews done, and I kind of was like, yeah, I don't want to go to the temple as often. And honestly, for me,
Mm.
I'll be honest, Evans, what's hard for me at the temple was being quiet. You're supposed to whisper. It's supposed to be like a library. You're supposed to be
Oh,
very quiet and
why
respectful.
is that?
And well, because this is the house of the Lord, he doesn't like loud laughter.
The mindset behind that is reverence, right? You need to give
Yes,
reverence
exactly.
to the spirit, which is like, well,
Exactly.
why is reverence quiet? Reverence doesn't mean quiet. I can silently
It's
tell you to fuck
defined.
off. So I can say, shut the
That's very true.
fuck up.
That's
Like,
true.
is that reverence? Because it's quiet enough? Fuck off. Like, is that like, oh, okay, all right. I didn't hear it. So, or is it mainly for us? We like to
Yeah.
feel that sense of like we are somewhere important because it's quiet.
Well, and it makes you submissive. I know that I've been
Yes.
with people that have shushed me. I've been told
Mm.
I'm loud, and sometimes I become too Italian. I've been told that too. And I feel like ultimately I'm being asked to be less
Of
than what
yourself.
I am.
Yes.
And
Dim your
um,
light.
if you want less, go find, like
Yeah.
go
Yeah, go
find
find
less.
someone. Yeah, go find someone else. Ali is not less. Ali is more, and she's getting more now. She's
Yeah.
getting louder and louder. And the only place I was gonna say, the only place anyone is allowed to shush me
Uh-oh.
is the cinema. Like, you can shush me in the cinema. That's fine. I won't get mad because I get that.
Right?
I understand that. The
Right?
only place you're allowed to shush me is that place. Don't you dare shush me anywhere else.
Totally agree. Or the theater.
The
Like we're all
theater,
there
yes,
trying to
yes,
watch something.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
But yeah, in the hallways of the church, especially in the temple, yeah, you're supposed to be quiet. And I always struggled with that, Evans. I
Mm.
just like, I even would try and I would get shushed. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
I just can't do this. And so
Right,
honestly, for me,
right.
my first step away from the temple was just out of sheer
I just
exhaustion.
the
I
shushing.
just
I just
I couldn't do it.
the sheer shushing
Yeah.
is just oh.
I'll be honest, if that was one of the questions, if they added that, I would be like,
So Ali,
I cannot keep my
Ali,
mouth
question 16.
shut. I know.
Question
Question 16.
16. Do you shut the
How
fuck
loud
up?
are you?
How
Yeah,
loud are
how
you?
loud are you inside of the temple? And it's like, yeah, I'm at a 10, Bishop. I just cannot stop. That's me. And so like I was my first step away from the temple was just like I just can't conform. I just can't be quiet. I am loud. If I And so I got exhausted with that and I was like, yeah, I do not have it in me to do this. And so it wasn't anything big. I wasn't sinning. I wasn't doing anything. I just was
It's all
loud.
the shushing.
So
It's
yeah, I
all
just
the
couldn't keep
shushing
it.
that really tipped her off,
Yeah.
guys. So
Yeah.
Ali deconverted from Mormonism. You heard it here first. Put it on the headlines. Ali deconverted from Mormonism
Oh my
because she
goodness.
was tired of your damn shushing. You just
Yeah.
wouldn't stop
I just couldn't do
shushing
it.
people.
Yeah.
Just stop
I
shushing
just
people, except for the theaters or the cinemas. That's the only place you're allowed to shush people.
yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Um,
We agree. We agree on that. But yeah, so
Ali,
I hadn't been so yeah, this
this
era,
was
the past 10 years
wow.
have been a slow progression of where I am now, which is just,
Wow.
learning
This
that
is this is tough. These questions are very invasive. They
mm,
are very disrespectful, by the way. I will
mm,
say. Yeah, very disrespectful to the person that's being asked these questions.
yeah,
Um, and also, by the way, the time settlement, the tithe settlement as
tithing
well, the
settlement.
tithing
Yeah.
settlement. What's the format? Is it like the interview, or is it like a question format?
No, it's pretty much just the one question, which is like, do you pay a full and honest tithing? And then,
You all say
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
and then you say yes, and you're good to go. I mean, but again, to me, the wrestle was always like, how do any of these questions really decide if you are worthy to go into the house of the Lord? How is this a worthiness interview? This is a conformity interview. This is just an
Yes.
interview to how well you can kowtow. You can answer all these questions. They're very much a measured way to assess a person's worthiness, but does it really do that? Does it really shine a light
I mean,
into who the person
I
is?
think
And
even if you're able to say yes to all of them, with glee and with happiness that you were
Mhm.
able to work hard in your life to really beat up, you still leave with some form of anxiety preparing for the next 2 years,
Oh
hoping
yeah.
if you can keep up with this standard, because it is
Yeah.
hard that even if as a Mormon you are genuinely able to meet up with all these 15 questions and the tenets of Mormonism for let's say two
Mm.
years. Who is to say that you can follow up the next 2 years?
Yeah.
Like, what if
Mhm.
life throws you curveballs and sometimes life
Sure.
puts you in situations
Sure.
that require you to be a person?
Yeah.
So, you know,
And make different decisions. And then it's like, wouldn't a God of love care more about you being generous and compassionate and kind and good to other people
Mm.
rather than if you're drinking coffee? Like, are these really the ways
Well,
that
I mean, Ali, I think advocating for rounding up a group of ethnic groups and wiping their generations out is up there with drinking Starbucks. Okay, so I don't really know what you're talking about, Ali.
Yeah.
They are both really all equal in my books, and you are both
Yeah.
unworthy candidates to.
It always bothered me that there weren't, where's the question, do you take care of the poor? Do you love your neighbor? Where are those questions? Are
Ah,
you kind?
that's second.
Where are
That's
they?
second trilogy. That's part two. That's the New Testament. We are talking about the
Mm,
third trilogy. We are talking
that's
about the
right.
Return of the
Yeah.
Jedi. This is the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just feel like there should just be one question. Do you strive to love others and treat them with goodness and respect? Like,
Ooh.
where's that question? Are you a good human being? And then the rest are answered.
I think it would be really fun for you to come up with your worthiness interview for the Mormon Church.
It would just be one question.
Yeah. What
It
would it
would
be?
just be that.
It would be just
It
be
would
that.
be, do you strive to love others and treat them with goodness and respect? Honestly, that's all I ask of my children.
Hmm.
So if I am to pretend or to create a God out of my image, it would be, are you a good person? If somebody is stranded on the side of the road and needs help, are you going to help them? I'll share a story of something that happened in my community out here in Virginia, where this young man, 35-year-old, on a Saturday morning was walking his dog and he saw a couple that were getting into a fight. And
Oh.
the young man was hitting the young girl, and this person,
Oh yeah.
this acquaintance of mine, he decided to jump in and try to stop. And obviously, he's thinking, the worst that's going to come of this is that I might get hit, And instead, the young man pulled out a gun and shot him square in the head.
Ooh.
And again,
Yeah.
but if I look
Ooh.
at this young man, who the heck cares what,
Mm.
he does in his bedroom?
Yeah.
A loving God would be like, wow, he was a good Samaritan. He tried to step in and tried to prevent this girl from getting beaten. And then he ended up getting murdered.
That is.
And
Oh
to
man.
me, that's what it
That's
comes
tough.
down to is, are you a Superman? Are you a hero to the people in your life? And do you try every day? Not are you worthy, but do you try every day to just be a good person? Do you try to live in a way that is good to others? Because if you do that, then you are honest, you do have integrity, and none of these institutional questions of whether you're aligning yourself to an organization matter.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to a podcast that maybe somebody else would say is questionable, well, if it's making you a better person or if it's helping you to think clearly and explore new things, then yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well said. Well said. I agree with that. That is, it's a very tough story. When
yeah,
those things happen, when people lose their lives when they're trying to do something good, that they just kind of instinctively are moved to do certain things,
yes.
right? You're like, oh yeah, that's a
It's a
person
true
in trouble. Let me
hero.
just stand in, and yeah, like you said, if I was a god that's all powerful, that is omnipotent, omni all of it, omni
Yeah,
square, I would just look at that situation and be like, well, I know exactly what to do as an omni. I wouldn't care about who they are, where they're from, what they think, even what they think
yeah,
about me as
yeah,
a god, because I
yeah,
am, self
right?
sufficient, right? And nothing would ever hurt
Right.
me. My ego is infinite, and therefore
No
my
other
ego never
idols.
gets hurt.
I need to make sure that I am the only one you're worshiping, for sure.
That is, it's a very weird kind of command, but maybe one day we will, at some
We'll
point,
explore the Ten Commandments.
we will
Sure.
explore the Ten Commandments and we will really delve into.
But
Maybe
yeah,
as
for
time goes on,
me,
mainstream media,
sure.
mainstream Christianity will come in. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But like for me, it's like that would be my only question is like, would you be that kind of a person? You know? And I think that is more a measure of a man than anything else. And I mean that as a human. And and for me, it's like I wouldn't care what denomination he was. I wouldn't care what he practiced. Clearly, he saw the value of a life and he tried to step in to stop something bad, and his was taken. And to me, that's the only question that I think I would ask. Do you treat others with kindness? Do you strive to love them? Do you live with integrity? These are the things that matter. And this is also something that is very, very well documented that we leave better societies if we are this way. Not if we're paying 10% to an institution that's only profiting, that's only becoming richer and richer and buying real estate with that wealth, not helping fellow man, not even doing the things that they ask their members to do. One of the biggest things that came out in the past 5 years was how the church wasn't paying its taxes appropriately. And
oh
the IRS got involved and they weren't even practicing
wow,
the question of honesty. And yet they're asking their members to do that. Where is their repentance
where is their
process?
tight settlement?
Exactly. Who keeps them accountable?
Hmm.
And that's a whole podcast that we could explore
Oh
also
yeah,
at a later
definitely,
date. The
definitely.
whole SEC scandal, where the church was brought before the law and had to pay a $5 million fine for not having been honest in its dealings with its fellow man.
Wow.
And here they are asking of their members to do that, but they're above the law.
Yeah.
You don't question the prophet as you saw, as you heard in one of these questions.
Mm.
You just get in line. And so for me, at the end of the day, all I ask of my children is, are you trying to be good to your brother? I didn't see that today, or I did see that today. And I'm grateful for that. And of course, come get a hug. I love you. My love to my children is unconditional, but I do try to instill these values in them to be good and kind and compassionate. And I say it over and over and over and over every single day. And that's all I want from them. And I hope that I can launch them into the world and have them think of others more than themselves. And if they can do that, I feel like everything else, all these other stupid questions, will either fall in line or not matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wonder Woman. Yeah,
No, stop
yeah. I
it.
present I present to you Wonder Woman,
Evan, stop it.
Superwoman. I present to
Stop
you
it.
all the
Stop it.
accolades. No, seriously.
No,
Seriously.
no, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
look. I mean, I know and I know you genuinely believe these things, right? But it's amazing. It is amazing to me to watch you evolve. To when we first met to where you are now, the way you talk about yourself, the way you talk about your standings, the things that you believe in, and it's just beautiful to watch. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm really proud of
Oh,
you.
well, thank
You know,
you.
so well done, and I declare you worthy after this
Stop
interview.
it. Right? I know. I know. It also should be a wrestle within yourself. You really should just be able to just be like, yeah, I'm worthy to go in.
Yeah.
End of story, you know?
Yes.
Or I don't need a building to commune with God.
I'll take my
I can
suit
just
off
go
now.
out in nature and feel just as spiritual. Like, do
Yeah.
I really need a building that another man has told me keeps my spirituality hostage? I feel more connected to the Holy Spirit or to God when I'm on a hike.
I understand. The goal is to be more attuned with yourself,
Yeah,
with your environments, to want to leave your environment better
yeah,
than how you found it when you came.
yep,
So that is the goal. And
exactly.
I think you are doing brilliantly. Thank you very much for sharing, and thank you very much for putting
Of
me through
course.
this vigorous interview. I think I peed my pants answering these
Yeah.
questions. And
You did so
but I got my
good.
recommendation. And so how long till
Yes.
I get my recommendation?
I will write it out for you right now. I get this little
Oh.
piece of paper,
Oh
I fill
right.
it out, and you put it in a plastic sleeve, and you got your
Ah.
nifty little card.
Oh
Yeah,
right.
for the
Look at
next
that.
2 years.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And I better not lose it.
Oh, yeah, don't lose it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But if you do, I'm also going to write it down that I gave it to you on this day. So, worst case, I will be able to write you a new one.
Oh right.
And
Okay.
then, as technology has evolved,
Uh,
I will also be able to submit it so that if you do lose it, they will be able to look it up when you go to the temple.
okay, so they can
So, it's
just
all
poke.
good.
Oh, it's
It's
all
the
good. It's all good.
electronic age,
Oh, of
Evans.
course. Keep
So,
updated. Stop writing on scrolls. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. This has been an
you're
amazing
welcome.
episode, and
Yeah.
you are awesome. You are the light that shines bright on this
Stop.
podcast.
Stop.
I
No,
am
no.
being serious. I'm really
No.
grateful to know someone like you,
Stop.
and I think you are the queen and the empress.
The
And we.
Empress. Yes, yes, darling. I must be called Empress. No, my only point in
Oh
doing all of
man.
this is just to, yeah, just to shed light. And I'm not revealing anything that somebody couldn't look up on their own. I just want to break it down and really
Yes.
kind of think through the words,
Yeah.
the questions, because there's more to it
Yeah.
than yes or no.
Yes.
So that's my purpose, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to explain to people. And
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, guys.
yeah,
Thank you very much for listening. If you listen to this point, please leave in the comment
yeah.
sections, I am worthy. Let's do a test.
There we go. I
Let's
love
do a
it.
test. Let's do a test to how
Mm,
many people watched till the end. Leave in the comments saying, I
yeah.
am worthy. And we will know. We will know. that
Yeah.
you are worthy and you get a recommendation to the temple. Okay, the temple of the two sinners on a Sunday. Okay,
There you go.
we only judge you.
Absolutely.
We only judge you by how much you shush people. That's the only. That's kind of like our threshold. Like we can't deal with that. We no. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah. All
yeah.
right,
All
you
right,
guys. Come back next time and we'll have more tea to spill. We'll keep going.
we will. Have a good
Thank
day,
you.
guys. Bye.
Bye.